It's often said that the opposite of love is indifference, but right now, I disagree. For me, the antithesis of love is hate, a blind, seething kind of hatred. I once adored my wife, pouring my heart and soul into our relationship, willing to do anything for her, even take a bullet. But things have changed. She ripped my heart out and shattered my once content life, and now it's time for me to seek vengeance. As I stealthily ascended the darkened stairs of our home, I made every effort to avoid detection. Yet the cacophony emanating from what used to be our shared bedroom drowned out any noise I might have made. Pushing open the partially closed door with the 12-gauge pump-action shotgun clenched in my grip, I confronted the scene before me. My soon-to-be ex-wife, Alice, entangled with my boss, Jake Harmon. The sound of a shell being chambered in the shotgun seized their attention as they gawked at me, startled. Jake, disentangling himself from Alice, spat out, "What the hell are you doing here, coward? You were supposed to be in Jonesboro. Why the hell are you here? Want a front row seat to watch a real man satisfy your wife? Is that it? Are you some kind of sick voyeur?" Alice's laughter cut through the tension. "Oh, baby, he wants to see how a real man makes me feel," she taunted. With a derisive laugh, Jake advanced toward me, and that's when it all began. I unleashed a barrage of gunfire upon them until nothing remained but echoes of my fury. Finally, as the haze of rage lifted, the room reeked of gunpowder and smoke hung heavy in the air. Surveying the carnage, I realized my life was forfeit. Soon the police would arrive, likely to mete out justice with bullets or worse. A prison cell awaited. I had one shell left in the shotgun, and with a resigned resolve, I turned it on myself. As I jolted awake, drenched in sweat, the reality of my surroundings slowly dawned on me. I was lodged in a hotel in Jonesboro, Arkansas, having been there since Sunday for business. It was Thursday morning, and I had a task to fulfill. Updating the client base per Jake's directive, the nightmare's remnants clung to my consciousness, suffocating me. With a heavy sigh, I checked the time. It was only 3:30 a.m. Damn, I muttered to myself, realizing sleep would elude me yet again. Stumbling out of bed, I splashed my face with water, brewed a cup of coffee, and sought solace in the glow of the TV. This recurring nightmare, a manifestation of my anguish over Alice's betrayal, had plagued me relentlessly for the past week, each iteration varying only in the weapon of my vengeance. Despite my military background and arsenal of firearms, I had never harbored violent inclinations toward others. That is, until now. What prompted such a drastic change, you might wonder. Allow me to explain. My name is Thomas Jefferson Langley, a moniker bestowed upon me by history-buff parents. Following high school, I enlisted in the Marines, specializing in nuclear, biological, and chemical defense. Apart from a stint in Okinawa, Japan, my service largely involved instructional duties stateside, culminating in overseeing the base's gas chamber for the final 6 months. Recognizing the limited civilian applications of my military expertise, I pursued education, earning a degree in networking and business. Post-graduation, I joined Empire Tech Solutions as a customer service representative, where I crossed paths with Alice during a newspaper survey. Little did I know then that our encounter would spiral into a nightmare of betrayal, revenge, and shattered illusions. 5 years ago, Alice and I embarked on a journey that led us to marriage. For the subsequent 4.5 years, life was harmonious. We shared a deep connection, spending cherished moments together and envisioning a future with children. With our combined income, we invested in a charming 4-bedroom farmhouse on a sprawling plot of land outside the city. The rustic appeal appealed to Alice, while the presence of a separate workshop delighted me. Our dream home boasted a master bedroom with its own gas fireplace and ample space for a family. Then my world unraveled. A coveted job opportunity arose within the company, and I eagerly pursued it. Unbeknownst to me, John Carlson, overseeing nationwide service operations, considered me a strong contender. However, the board favored Jake Harmon, a newcomer from Boston with marginally more experience and influential family ties. Despite my resentment, I greeted Jake cordially upon his arrival, but his presence grated on me. There was an aura of arrogance about him, evident in his crooked smile. I confided my misgivings to Alice one evening. Her suggestion to extend an olive branch surprised me. "Invite him over for dinner," she urged, speculating that perhaps Jake was simply adjusting to a new environment, devoid of familial support. Encouraged by her optimism, I extended the invitation, which Jake accepted graciously. His inquiry about bringing his family exposed a poignant truth: he was alone. Despite my initial reluctance, I reassured him that his company was all that mattered. "It's just your appetite," I reassured Jake, who had accepted my invitation for dinner. True to his word, he arrived promptly, and the evening unfolded pleasantly. Over a hearty stew prepared by Alice, we engaged in conversation, fostering a semblance of camaraderie. Impressed by Alice's culinary skills, Jake departed with a container of leftovers, leaving a favorable impression on us both. "He doesn't seem like such a bad guy," Alice remarked after his departure. "You two seem to get along well." "Perhaps," I conceded, though doubts lingered beneath the surface. "By the way, that stew was wonderful. Let me help with the dishes. Then I'll properly thank you upstairs," I teased, playfully swatting her behind. With a giggle, she disappeared into the dining room to attend to the aftermath of our meal. The following day, Jake visited my office to express gratitude for the dinner. Praise for Alice's cooking was followed by an unexpected request: an increase in out-of-town assignments. Despite reservations, Jake insisted on the necessity for a more aggressive approach to business. "Starting next week," he declared, "I'd like you to travel to St. Louis on Monday. Peters and Listrom are considering server upgrades for tax season. I want your hands-on assessment." Peters and Listrom, familiar clients in the accounting sector, were unbeknownst to me contemplating upgrades, a fact that raised eyebrows. Jake's directive extended beyond a mere assessment. I was tasked with visiting all their branches, potentially spanning several days. Reluctantly, I agreed, mindful of Alice's impending disappointment. "She won't be pleased," I remarked, to which Jake offered reassurance in the form of promised compensation. Alice's discontent was palpable, but I sought to assuage it with a romantic evening and a weekend spent together. "Call me when you arrive," she insisted as I packed for the trip, her concern evident. "And behave yourself," she added with a teasing smile. Fortunate to have a short drive to St. Louis, I departed with a mix of apprehension and determination to fulfill Jake's expectations while maintaining the delicate balance of home and career. Am I not always like this? I quipped before kissing Alice, a familiar ritual in our relationship. As I settled into my room in St. Louis, I maintained regular contact with Alice, calling her on both her cell phone and our home phone. Our conversations, punctuated by laughter and affection, served as lifelines amidst the distance. Unexpectedly finishing a client engagement early one Thursday morning, I seized the opportunity to surprise Alice with my return home. Our reunion was joyful, temporarily overshadowing the strain of my increasingly frequent absences. Yet, as weeks passed, the toll of prolonged separations became palpable. Initially, Alice appeared resilient, but the strain eventually manifested in subtle ways. The scent of cigarettes lingered, a habit we had vowed to quit together years ago. Her confession revealed the coping mechanism she resorted to in my absence. "I understand," I reassured her, acknowledging the pressures of my job orchestrated by Jake. Despite voicing my concerns to Jake, his dismissive attitude underscored the inevitability of my extended trips. Frustrated yet resigned, I continued to fulfill my obligations. Returning home from yet another trip, I encountered a malfunction with our gas fireplace, a potentially hazardous situation exacerbated by my hectic schedule. The urgency of the technician's warning reinforced the gravity of the issue, yet finding time for repairs proved elusive. As Jake's demands intensified, the repercussions reverberated within our home. The coldness seeping into our house mirrored the growing distance between Alice and me, culminating in a dwindling intimacy and terse exchanges. Alice's deteriorating health, exacerbated by my prolonged absences, became apparent. Despite my concerns, Jake remained indifferent, prioritizing business over well-being. The strained communication reached a breaking point when attempts to reach Alice went unanswered, met with feeble excuses. The rift widened, signaling the unraveling of our once solid foundation. And then, the worst imaginable happened. Returning home early from my trip, I found myself greeted not by the warmth of anticipation, but by the chill of betrayal. As I pulled into our driveway, the sight of Jake's BMW parked in front of our garage jolted me. Stepping into the house, I stumbled upon a scene that shattered the illusion of my marriage. Alice, clad in a revealing black dress, sat with Jake on the couch. Their furtive actions and the thick scent of cigarette smoke hung heavy in the air. My arrival prompted a feeble attempt at explanation, but the truth hung palpably between us. Confronting Jake with a mixture of indignation and resolve, I asserted my authority in my own home. His smirk faltered as I demanded his departure, drawing a line that he dared not cross. Alice's silence spoke volumes, confirming my worst fears. "How long has this been going on?" I demanded, my voice laced with disbelief and hurt. Alice's confession stone, a painful revelation of her infidelity amidst my relentless absences. In the aftermath of her admission, I grappled with a maelstrom of emotions. The betrayal cut deep, unraveling the fabric of trust that once bound us together. Despite her pleas and tears, I knew that forgiveness was beyond reach. With a heavy heart, I resigned myself to the inevitable. The stark reality of our broken marriage hung heavy in the air as I shed the symbol of our union, casting aside my wedding ring with finality. Gathering my belongings, I fled the suffocating confines of our home, suffused with the acrid scent of deceit. The remnants of their tryst littered the room, a visceral reminder of the irreparable damage inflicted upon our relationship. Leaving behind the shattered remnants of my marriage, I embarked on a journey of solitude and self-discovery. With a heavy heart and a resolve to sever ties, I bid farewell to the home that once held promises of happiness. Finding refuge in the anonymity of a motel room, I sought solace from the haunting memories that plagued my mind. Yet, as the night unfolded, the shadows of my past manifested in vivid nightmares, a torment that refused to grant me reprieve. The following day, I sought counsel from John Carlson, confiding in him the betrayal that had unraveled my world. His empathy provided a semblance of comfort amidst the chaos, offering a lifeline amidst the turmoil. Venturing into the unfamiliar terrain of legal proceedings, I sought the guidance of a divorce lawyer, navigating the intricacies of dissolution with a determination born of necessity. As I gathered my belongings from the remnants of my former life, a newfound sense of purpose propelled me forward. Amidst the wreckage of shattered dreams, a forgotten relic stirred within me, a remnant of my past life as a Marine. With a bitter irony, I seized upon the capsules of CS training tablets, a tool once wielded in training exercises now repurposed for a different purpose. A twisted notion took root in my mind as I schemed a fitting retribution. With a calculated precision, I laced the ashtrays with the potent powder, a silent warning to those who dared desecrate the sanctity of my home. As I departed, a sense of grim satisfaction lingered, a fleeting semblance of justice in a world marred by betrayal. Yet, beneath the veneer of vengeance, a profound emptiness gnawed at my soul, a reminder of the irreparable loss that now defined my existence. Taking matters into my own hands, I orchestrated a silent retaliation against the desecration of my home. With a meticulous determination, I infused the ashtrays with the potent powder of CS training tablets, a subtle deterrent to their indiscretions. But I didn't stop there. A surge of defiance guided my actions as I sprinkled the powder upon the bedding, a clandestine reminder of their betrayal etched into the very fabric of our shared space. Yet, I exercised restraint, preserving the remaining capsules for the journey ahead. With a heavy heart and a resolve to sever ties, I gathered my belongings, safeguarding them within the confines of a rented warehouse until a new refuge could be found. Arriving at Lisa Hawkins' law office, I sought guidance amidst the tumult of legal proceedings, her pragmatic counsel offering a semblance of clarity amidst the chaos. As we navigated the intricacies of dissolution, I gleaned insights into the path forward, armed with a strategy to protect my interests. With a determined resolve, I took decisive steps to safeguard my financial future, severing ties and establishing a newfound independence. Armed with a checklist of protective measures, I forged ahead, reclaiming agency amidst the wreckage of a fractured marriage. Yet, amidst the echoes of a shattered union, a familiar voice pierced the silence, a harbinger of turmoil yet to come. Engulfed in a storm of accusations and recriminations, I weathered the onslaught with a steely resolve, refusing to yield to their venomous tirades. As the night descended, I sought solace in the embrace of sleep, a temporary reprieve from the tumult of emotions that besieged my weary soul. In the quietude of night, I found respite, a fleeting moment of peace amidst the chaos that engulfed my world. I attended brunch, expecting a peaceful respite, only to find Alice seated at my table, a surprising intrusion into my moment of solace. "What a surprise," I remarked dryly. "How did you sleep last night?" "I think you know how I slept," she replied with a trace of bitterness. "I saw your car and decided to come in and see you." Annoyance simmered within me as I asked, "What do you want, Alice?" "I'm trying to enjoy a good breakfast." Her request to discuss our relationship felt futile. "There's no more use, Alice," I asserted. "You achieved that when you decided to sleep with my boss." Her defense was feeble. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she pleaded. "I was just lonely." The weight of her betrayal bore down on me. "Do you think I wasn't lonely?" I retorted. "You knew I left because your friend sent me away. By the way, I met with a lawyer yesterday. Divorce papers are being filed. You should be notified sometime next week." Her quiet plea for reconciliation fell flat. "But I don't want a divorce," she murmured. "I don't want a cheating whore as my wife," I declared firmly. "Don't worry. I'll leave the house to you unless you want to sell it. Either way is good for me, and your credit card doesn't work anymore." Her inquiry about the events of the previous day rang hollow. "I have no idea what you're talking about," I denied. "I just came to pick up some more of my things, especially my weapons and my computer." She recounted the effects of the CS powder in the house, a subtle satisfaction rippling through me. "Well, I guess you won't smoke in the bedroom anymore," I remarked wryly. With a resigned acceptance, she confessed to spending the night elsewhere, insisting that nothing happened between them. "This is just too damn bad," I scoffed. Her plea for friendship incited a surge of anger within me. "Friends?" I scoffed incredulously. "You betrayed my trust and broke my heart, and you have the nerve to ask if we can be friends." The intensity of my words startled her, tears welling in her eyes. "Do you really have no feelings at all?" she choked out. "I loved you once," I admitted tersely, "but not anymore. Right now, just the sight of you makes my stomach churn." Her apology was feeble as she retreated, leaving me with a bitter taste in my mouth. Good riddance to bad trash, I mused, knowing that my subtle revenge had taken its toll. The remainder of the day passed in a haze of aimless wandering, culminating in a solitary evening at the motel, preparing for the journey ahead. Days later, Alice's call stirred up a mixture of emotions. Her indignation at the divorce papers met with my own resentment. "How could you humiliate me like that?" she protested. "How could you humiliate me by sleeping with my boss?" I shot back, ending the conversation with a finality that echoed the irreparable rift between us. I received a menacing email from Jake, which I promptly forwarded to John. John reassured me not to fret about Jake's threats. If all goes well, he'll be gone by the end of the week. John assured me. Okay, I thought. He can take this traitor with him. With preparations underway for my return, it occurred to me that it might be for the best that I hadn't been in town to confront the traitors over the past few days. Nobody knows what I might have done. As dawn approached, I decided to freshen up with a shower, grab some breakfast, and make my way back. Thursday morning found me on the road homeward around 6:30. As I neared my hometown, I tuned in to my favorite local radio station, hoping for some morning news. To Old Mill Road, where firefighters responded to an incident late last night. The announcer's voice crackled through the speakers. My heart skipped a beat. Old Mill Road. That's where my house stands. Listening intently, I learned that an explosion had torn through an old farmhouse, claiming one life and leaving another in critical condition. Dread gripped me, and I hastened my journey home, fearing the worst. Upon arrival, I was met with a devastating sight. The house reduced to smoking ruins, save for the brick fireplace. 2 cars sat nearby, one belonging to Alice and the other to Jake. The workshop, miraculously spared, beckoned to me amidst the destruction. Approaching, I was intercepted by firefighters. "Sorry, sir, but you'll have to leave," one informed me. I produced my license and explained, "This is my home. I've been away since Sunday." "What happened?" "An explosion had been reported," they told me, and while Alice had been pulled from the wreckage and hospitalized, Jake hadn't survived. "What caused this?" I asked, gesturing to the debris. The answer eluded them as they urged me to contact my insurance company. I relayed the grim news to John, who offered his condolences and advised me to check on Alice. Taking the rest of the day off, I headed to the hospital, where I learned the extent of Alice's injuries, second and third-degree burns covering more than half her body. Returning to my room, emotions overwhelmed me, and tears flowed freely. Online, I filed a claim with my insurance company, hoping for some semblance of resolution amid the chaos. That night, for the first time, I slept without succumbing to my recurring nightmare. In the days that followed, I confirmed Jake's demise and learned that his job was now mine if I wanted it. What the hell, I thought. Might as well take it. With a new job secured and a decent apartment found, I began to rebuild. Amidst salvaging what I could from the ruins of our house, I reflected on the years spent with Alice, a mix of grief and forgiveness washing over me. A few days later, the hospital called, granting me permission to visit and converse with Alice. Entering her room, I beheld a sight that struck me deeply. Most of her body concealed beneath swaths of bandages. Approaching her bedside, I met her gaze, witnessing tears trickle down her face. "Can you speak?" I inquired softly. With a slight nod and trembling lips, she managed a feeble yes. "What happened?" I probed gently. "We lit the fireplace on Wednesday evening," she began, her voice strained. "Jake attempted to ignite it, but there was a sudden explosion. My disbelief was palpable. Don't you recall my warning not to use it until we replaced the insert?" I questioned, incredulous. "I'm sorry," she murmured. Jake checked the gas, lit a match, and then a heavy silence hung between us. "Jake is dead," I informed her bluntly, eliciting fresh tears. "And our house, like our marriage, lies in ruins." "I've ruined everything, haven't I?" she lamented. "Yes, you have," I affirmed. "As for what comes next, you'll likely need costly skin grafts, and I can't guarantee insurance coverage. As for us, there is no us anymore." Her sobs intensified, but amidst them, she thanked me for my support. "Do you still despise me?" she inquired, her voice tinged with resignation. "Not as fervently as before," I admitted, "but my feelings toward you remain strained." Understanding passed between us, and I resolved to give her space. "If you play with fire, you'll get burned," I cautioned before exiting the room. To my surprise, the insurance company intervened, compensating me for the house's damage. With the mortgage settled, I proposed selling the property, and Alice concurred. She remained hospitalized, granted extended leave by her employer. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, I found solace in dating Rose, who aided me in managing my anger. True to my word, I supported Alice until she regained her independence. The doctor's efforts proved fruitful. Her recovery progressed smoothly, marred only by faint scars. As a final act of goodwill, I facilitated her transition to a new apartment, opting for one without a fireplace. Handing her the keys, I offered a parting embrace. "Take care of yourself," I urged. In the wake of our farewell, I contemplated my next steps. Dialing a familiar number, I arranged a rendezvous with Nancy, a recent acquaintance with captivating allure. Sometimes, a brush with danger can ignite unexpected sparks. Thanks to everyone who took the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share your thoughts on the events in the comments below. Take care.